Chosen one, there's a power within you that others can't ignore, even if they try to hide it. You've been walking a path unlike anything they've seen. Your growth, your wisdom, your ability to break down barriers, they're afraid of what you're capable of. Why? Because you've learned to destroy the egos that hold people back, including your own, and that strength is intimidating. They've never encountered anyone quite like you. Now, they're scared to come at you because they know you see through the masks they wear. This is exactly where you need to be. As a chosen one, your journey is about embracing your power, shedding the limitations imposed by others, and stepping into your true purpose. You're not just living for yourself. You're breaking the chains of ego, setting the stage for others to see what's possible when they let go of their own illusions. This level of clarity brings growth, even when it's challenging. Chosen one, if you've been guided to this channel, it's not by accident. Subscribe and turn on notifications to become a part of the Kingdom Calls family so you never miss divine wisdom meant to guide you. Type 1111 in the comments to show you're ready to receive. Chosen one, the path you walk is not for the faint of heart. It demands courage, authenticity, and an unrelenting commitment to truth. People notice you, even when they try not to. Your presence unsettles something within them. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because you've done something most people never dare to do. You've dismantled the ego within yourself, and in doing so, you've become a mirror to those still bound by theirs. That reflection can be uncomfortable, even terrifying, for those unwilling to confront their own illusions. When you destroy egos, it's not out of malice or pride, it's an inevitable consequence of living authentically in alignment with God's purpose. The ego thrives on illusions, control, superiority, insecurity, and fear. By stripping away those false layers within yourself, you exude a light that exposes these illusions in others. For some, this is liberating. For others, it's threatening. That's why they hesitate to confront you openly. They sense a power in you that transcends worldly games, a strength rooted in truth, humility, and divine connection. This journey of dismantling egos, while empowering, can feel isolating. The very thing that sets you apart can make you feel misunderstood. You may wonder why others seem to project their insecurities onto you or avoid embracing the clarity you offer. The truth is, not everyone is ready to let go of their ego. It's easier to stay in the comfort of denial than to face the discomfort of transformation. As a chosen one, your role in this spiritual dynamic is unique. While others may see the destruction of egos as confrontation, you know it's an act of love, one that paves the way for growth, healing, and alignment with God's truth. Love in this form is rarely recognized in the moment. Instead, it may be met with resistance, fear, or even hostility. People might label you as intimidating or too much, not realizing they're confronting their own fear of losing the ego's grip. There's a profound spiritual purpose in this process. Every time you challenge the ego, whether intentionally or simply by being yourself, you create an opening for God's light to shine through. This requires staying grounded in your identity. Even when the world tries to define you by its standards, it demands trust in God to handle others' reactions, knowing your role isn't to control their response, but to remain faithful to your purpose. Let's also acknowledge the weight of this calling. There will be moments when you feel drained by the spiritual energy it takes to stand firm in your truth. Moments when you question if it's worth it, or if it would be easier to dim your light to fit in. This is the enemy's tactic, planting seeds of doubt to deter you from your divine mission. Don't fall for it. Remember, your light was never meant to blend in. It was meant to stand out and illuminate the path for others, even if it makes them uncomfortable. God has placed this mantle on you for a reason. He chose you to be a disruptor, a vessel for truth in a world clinging to illusions. While others' reactions might test your resolve, they don't reflect your worth or success. They're evidence of the spiritual work taking place. You are planting seeds, even if you don't see them sprout right away. It's also important to practice grace, not just toward others, but toward yourself. Destroying egos isn't about engaging in conflict or proving a point. It's about embodying a higher truth. Sometimes, even as a chosen one, the ego may try to creep back into your heart. That's okay. This journey is about progress, not perfection. When those moments arise, turn to God in prayer and reflection. Let Him guide you back to humility and alignment. You may find the people most impacted by your presence are the ones who resist you the hardest. This can be painful, especially when it comes from those you care about. But take heart in knowing resistance often precedes transformation. The seeds you plant today may take time to grow, but in God's timing, they will bear fruit. Your role is to remain faithful to your calling, trusting that God is working through you, even in ways you can't see. Chosen one, your ability to destroy egos creates space for greater connection, healing, and alignment with God's purpose. You show others how to live beyond fear and insecurity. Your life proves that true freedom comes through surrender. Remember, your strength comes from God. He is your anchor and guide. When your calling feels heavy, lean into Him, trusting He sees and honors your faithfulness. Even when others' reactions overwhelm you, trust He is working through you. This journey is sacred, though not easy. You're breaking chains, opening eyes, and leading by example. Walk boldly, fulfilling a divine purpose with eternal impact. There is a sacred significance to the journey you are on, one that profoundly impacts the spiritual landscape of the world. To be a chosen one is to walk a path that is not only unique, but deeply transformative, both for yourself and for those who encounter you. You may not have sought out this role, but it is one that you have been divinely prepared for through every trial and triumph. Your ability to confront egos, both within yourself and others, reflects your alignment with truth. It is not about destruction for its own sake, but a calling to dismantle the falsehoods that separate humanity from God's light. The ego thrives on fear, pride, and illusion, building walls to protect itself from the vulnerability of surrendering to divine truth. When you challenge those walls, it often stirs discomfort. People may resist or lash out, but their resistance is not a reflection of your failure. It reveals their internal struggle. They fear what you represent: freedom, truth, and a life unshackled from ego's control. Walking this path takes courage because the work is not easy. Misunderstandings, criticism, or isolation may come your way, but these experiences refine you. Just as gold is refined by fire, your character is being shaped by these challenges. Resistance, whether internal or external, is an opportunity to lean deeper into God's grace, allowing Him to guide you. These moments are not setbacks. They are sacred invitations to grow in faith and strength. As you reflect on this journey, consider the changes you've already experienced. Relationships may have shifted, and opportunities may seem to appear or fade as if orchestrated by divine hands. These shifts are not random. They are part of a greater plan aligning you with your purpose. Trust that what is leaving your life is making room for what is meant to stay. At the core of your calling is the understanding that confronting egos is not about judgment, but love. Tearing down the ego's walls creates space for the truth of God's presence. When you challenge someone's ego, you hold up a mirror reflecting both their potential and their fear of stepping into it. This is sacred work that requires humility, compassion, and wisdom. You are not called to attack or condemn, but to invite transformation. Some may reject that invitation, and that is okay. Your role is not to force change, but to be a catalyst, trusting that God will do the rest. Preparing for what lies ahead also means turning the mirror inward. The ego is not just something that exists in others, it is a force each of us must confront within ourselves. Take time to ask where pride, fear, or insecurity may still have a hold on your heart. These reflections are not about condemnation, but growth. When you surrender these areas to God, You create more space for His love and truth to flow through you. Your journey has taught you resilience. There have been moments when the weight of your calling felt heavy, moments when you wondered if you could continue. But you found strength, not in yourself, but in God's unwavering presence. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a testimony to the faith that sustains you. This resilience is a gift not just for you, but for those who witness your journey. Your perseverance shows others what is possible when someone chooses to walk in alignment with God. As you grow, it's vital to guard your heart against distractions and temptations that pull you away from your purpose. The ego is cunning and may use even success to divert your focus. Stay grounded in prayer, seeking God's guidance. Surround yourself with those who support your growth and challenge you to remain true to your calling. Your journey is not solitary. You are part of a larger tapestry of chosen ones working together to bring light to the world. Let yourself be encouraged by the lives you've already touched. Even if you don't see the full impact, trust that God is using you in ways beyond your understanding. The seeds you are planting now may take time to grow, but their fruit will be abundant. Each act of faith, each moment of courage, brings you closer to fulfilling your divine purpose. This is a time of preparation, a sacred season where you are being equipped for the next chapter of your journey. Embrace it fully, knowing that God is with you every step. The work you are doing is not just for yourself, it is for the world, for the countless lives that will be touched and transformed by your example. Trust that the best is yet to come. There's something extraordinary about your journey as a chosen one, a pull that draws others toward you, even if they don't fully understand why. Yet, this same pull stirs fear or unease in others, especially when they sense that you are not bound by ego-driven rules. The ego, both in yourself and others, is threatened by what it cannot control. You, chosen one, represent a force that transcends control, embodying a truth so powerful it shatters illusions and demands authenticity. But what happens when people face this truth? When they encounter someone who sees through their masks and defenses? It's no wonder they hesitate or resist. You may notice avoidance, discomfort, or even subtle attempts to dismiss your influence. These reactions can be confusing, especially from those you care about. You might wonder why your presence provokes such strong responses. What is it about you that compels some to draw closer while others retreat? This tension isn't a sign of failure, it's evidence of your impact. You're awakening something dormant and confronting parts of others they've hidden from themselves. This disruption is not for harm, but healing. A divine process unfolding before your eyes. Yet, it's not easy to hold your ground in such moments. Doubt may whisper, "Am I making a difference?" The uncertainty can weigh on you, but these moments of questioning are part of the preparation. They force you to rely not on your understanding, but on God's wisdom. You don't need to see the whole picture. You just need to trust that your steps are divinely guided. Your role isn't about tearing others down, it's about creating space for growth. When the ego falls, healing and alignment with God's purpose can take its place. The resistance you face isn't a reflection of your failure, it's a sign of transformation. The ego doesn't relinquish its hold easily. It fights back. Sometimes that fight comes as external resistance, words or actions from others. Other times it manifests internally as doubt or weariness within you. But here's the truth. Even in the resistance, there's growth. Have you noticed how some people change after encountering you? They may not express it openly, but their actions speak volumes. Perhaps they step toward vulnerability or begin questioning patterns they've long been stuck in. Even those who resist you most fiercely might wrestle with truths they can't ignore. These are the ripples you create simply by being who you are. Still, the weight of this role can feel heavy. You might ask, how do I navigate the emotional toll of being a disruptor of cycles? What's the next step when I feel like I've given everything? These questions are not meant to discourage you, but to prepare you. because the answers are coming. Right now, you're standing on the edge of something profound. The tension you feel is the space between what was and what's about to be. It's the holy pause before transformation occurs, both in you and in those you've been called to impact. Trust that God is in this space, working in ways you may not yet see, but will soon understand. This journey isn't just about where you're going, it's about who you're becoming. You're not just a disruptor, you're a vessel for healing, alignment, and truth. Every step you take, even in uncertainty, is part of a divine process. The anticipation you feel isn't empty. It's a sign that the breakthrough is near. The doubts, questions, and challenges are shaping you, preparing you for what comes next. Stay open, stay faithful, and trust that God is guiding you every step of the way. The journey so far has revealed much about your path as a chosen one, how your very presence disrupts ego-based structures, how the resistance you face can feel isolating, and how others react with fear when confronted with the light and power within you. You've been challenged, both externally and internally, as you navigate the complexities of this divine calling. But even with all this, there are still deeper questions that linger in your heart. Why does the road often feel so heavy, even though you are following God's purpose? Why does it seem as though the more you grow, the more resistance you face? And why does it feel as if others are so afraid of the power you carry when you are only striving to live in alignment with God's will? Sometimes the weight of the journey can make you question whether you're truly on the right path or if the struggles are meant to break you. The answer to these questions lies in a truth you may not fully understand yet, but it is a truth that will bring clarity and deep spiritual resonance as you continue your journey. The fear, the resistance, the judgment, these are not signs that you are doing something wrong. They are signs that you are doing something right, that you are challenging the false beliefs and structures that have kept others imprisoned in their own fear. It may be uncomfortable, but this is the process of awakening both within you and those around you. When you carry divine power and speak truth, you disturb the egoic structures of the world. The ego does not like to be challenged. It thrives on control, manipulation, and illusion. The moment you begin to destroy these false identities, the ego fights back, not because it wants to hurt you, but because it is scared of being exposed. The ego fears the freedom you embody because that freedom threatens its existence. It resists the light you bring, fearing that it will be undone. But it's precisely because of this fear that you are walking in your divine purpose. Your actions are revealing what lies beneath the surface, and that, in turn, calls others to confront what they've hidden from themselves. Think about how the presence of Jesus disrupted the religious leaders and systems of his time. His very being shattered the self-serving structures they had built. They didn't resist him because he was wrong. They resisted him because he exposed the depth of their pride and their need for control. When you walk in alignment with God, you challenge the egos of those around you in much the same way. The fear they have is a reflection of the power that lies within you, not of your own doing, but of God's doing. But this path is not just about challenging the egos of others. It's about transforming yourself. Every person you encounter, every situation that makes you feel isolated or misunderstood, is a mirror showing you something about yourself. It's in these moments of resistance that you are given the opportunity to shed layers of your own ego. Each time you stand firm in your truth, you are breaking free from your own limitations, your own doubts, and your own fears. This isn't just about the external journey you're on. It's about the internal transformation that is happening simultaneously. You might feel the weight of this at times, especially when others don't understand or support you. The pressure to conform, to fit into the expectations of the world can be overwhelming. But remember, chosen one, the pressure you feel is actually a sign of your own divine refinement. Every struggle, every moment of resistance is shaping you into the person God created you to be. You are being prepared for a greater purpose, one that goes beyond what you can see in the present moment. There will be moments when you feel like you're walking this path alone, when it seems like everyone else is content in their ignorance, unwilling to challenge the status quo. During these times, it's easy to question if you're really making a difference or if your efforts are futile. But this is where you must trust God's timing and His sovereignty. The work you are doing is not in vain, even if it seems invisible right now. The seeds you are planting today will bear fruit in God's time. The truth is, God has already equipped you for this journey. The weight of your calling, while heavy at times, is not something you must carry alone. In every moment of doubt or weariness, remember that God is right beside you. He is guiding you, strengthening you, and preparing you for the greater breakthrough that is to come. The opposition you face is not an indication of failure. It is a sign of your divine purpose. This resistance you experience is proof that the power of God is at work within you. When others recoil from you, or when they try to bring you down, recognize that it's because they see something in you that they cannot yet comprehend. The fear they have is rooted in the fact that they see God's light in you, and it forces them to confront the darkness within themselves. This isn't your burden to carry, it's simply your calling. And while the journey may feel isolating, it's important to remember that you are not walking this path alone. God is with you every step of the way, strengthening you and providing the support you need. The challenges you face are part of your divine preparation, molding you into the person you need to be for what lies ahead. Your ability to withstand resistance, to stand firm in your faith, and to continue forward despite the opposition you face is a testimony to the strength of God within you. As you continue to walk this path, remember that you are being refined in ways you may not fully understand. You are breaking through the limitations of your own ego, and as you do, you will begin to see the world around you with new eyes. The very resistance you face will begin to dissipate as you shed the layers of fear and insecurity that once held you back. This is the process of divine transformation, and it is one that you are uniquely prepared for. It is not always easy, but it is necessary for the fulfillment of your divine purpose. The breakthrough you are waiting for is not just external, it is internal as well. It's the moment when you realize that the resistance you face was never meant to stop you, but to prepare you. When you reach this understanding, everything shifts. You'll begin to see your struggles in a new light. The fear of others, the rejection, and the isolation will no longer have the same grip on you. Instead, you'll walk forward in freedom, knowing that everything you've experienced has been leading you to this moment. You are not just here to challenge others' egos, you are here to show them the way to true freedom. And the most powerful way you do this is by continuing to walk in your truth, by living in alignment with God's purpose, and by remaining faithful to the calling He has placed on your life. The divine purpose that burns within you is undeniable. No matter what opposition you face, no matter how many times others try to bring you down, your light will continue to shine. You are an example of what is possible when someone fully surrenders to God's will, and that is the greatest gift you can offer to the world. As you move forward, trust that God is orchestrating everything in your life for His glory. The challenges you face are not signs of defeat. They are confirmations that you are on the right path. Keep moving forward with courage, knowing that the breakthroughs you are waiting for are already unfolding. Trust God's timing, trust His plan, and trust that the journey you're on is leading you to a greater understanding of who you are in Him. Your path is sacred, and everything you've experienced, everything you're about to experience, is part of His divine purpose. Keep walking boldly, for the best is yet to come. Chosen ones, the path ahead may seem unclear at times, and the challenges may appear daunting. But in these very moments, God is refining you, preparing you for something even greater than you can currently comprehend. You've already begun to do the hard work, dismantling egos, confronting illusions, and challenging the status quo. The resistance you feel is the natural reaction of the world to the light you carry. But this is not a sign to stop. It's a divine confirmation that you are on the right path. The world around you is uncomfortable with what you represent. They see the power you carry, and it shakes them to their core. You are not simply a bystander in life. You are a force for transformation, an example of divine potential. When you challenge the egos and false structures of this world, you become a living testament to God's will, a beacon of light that can no longer be ignored. But there's something deeply sacred and purposeful in this resistance. It's not about diminishing your light, but about revealing it to those who need to see it most. The more you grow in your spiritual walk, the more you realize how deeply connected your journey is to God's ultimate plan. The road may feel heavy at times, but this weight is not a burden. It's the mantle of leadership that you've been chosen to bear. You are being transformed, and in your transformation, you are transforming others. The pain and discomfort you experience are part of the purification process, a necessary step for those who are called to carry God's purpose into the world. There will be moments when you feel lost or uncertain, when you question the path you are walking. The doubt may creep in, making you wonder if all the effort you're putting into your spiritual journey is worth it. But let me reassure you, chosen one, the challenges are not meant to break you. They are shaping you into the person God intended you to be. The trials you face are not punishment, they are a divine honing process, a preparation for the calling you have accepted. You will emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with God's will with each trial you face. As you continue on this journey, it's essential to understand that you are not alone in this. God's hand is constantly upon you, guiding, strengthening, and comforting you through every challenge. Even when it seems as though the resistance is too great, trust that God is using every experience to mold you into the person He has called you to be. There is no struggle that He does not see, no burden too heavy for Him to carry with you. The transformation that you're undergoing may not be immediately visible to others. It may feel as though the work you are doing is unnoticed or unappreciated, but this is where the true test of faith comes in. The most powerful transformation happens in the unseen places, within the depths of your heart, in your quiet moments of surrender, and in your trust that God is moving even when you cannot see it. Know that your efforts are not in vain. Your faithfulness will bear fruit in ways you cannot yet imagine. Moving forward, remember that the road ahead is not about perfecting your ability to confront others or challenge the ego. It is about mastering your own. The real work lies within. You are being called to continually dismantle the parts of yourself that resist God's will. This is a deeply personal process. The more you surrender your own ego and align yourself with God's truth, the more powerful your example will become to those around you. This part of the journey requires a deep and ongoing surrender. It's not just about saying yes to the call once, but about saying yes again and again, even when it's uncomfortable. Surrendering is an act of radical trust. When you let go of your own desires, plans, and fears, you make space for God to work in ways that exceed your understanding. The more you release control, the more you allow His will to manifest in your life. This act of surrender will shape you, refine you, and draw you even closer to your divine purpose. Each challenge you face is an invitation to grow and deepen your connection with God. These aren't obstacles, but opportunities to step into the fullness of who He has called you to be. Your purpose is not just to dismantle egos, but to allow God's love to flow through you, healing the brokenness around you. Every interaction, every decision is an opportunity to show others what's possible when they align their hearts with God's purpose. As you continue on this path, remember, it's not about how the world perceives you, but how God sees you. Your purpose is to live authentically, aligned with the divine truth God has placed in your heart. As you do this, you will naturally draw others, not by your flesh, but by the light of God that radiates through you. The more you align with God's will, the more powerful your influence becomes. People will be drawn to the freedom you embody, even if they don't fully understand it. Your example will inspire others to challenge their own limitations, open their hearts, and embrace God's love. This is the impact you're making, even when it's not immediately visible. The path forward requires trust. Trust in God's timing, trust in His guidance, and trust in His plan for your life. It may not always make sense in the moment, but each step you take is leading you closer to the divine purpose He has for you. Trust that every experience is an opportunity to grow, and that even the struggles are part of the process. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing. This trust is what sustains you when the road gets rough, when the resistance feels unbearable, and when the doubts threaten to creep in. Trust is the foundation that allows you to keep moving forward, even when everything around you seems uncertain. And in this trust, you will find peace. Not peace that comes from external circumstances, but a deep, abiding peace that comes from knowing you are walking in alignment with God's purpose for your life. One of the greatest lessons you will learn on this journey is the importance of surrender. Surrender is not about giving up. It's about letting go of your own desires and aligning yourself fully with God's will. When you surrender your ego, you make space for His presence to fill you. When you surrender your fears, you make space for His peace to dwell within you. This is the path to true freedom. Freedom from the limitations of the ego, freedom from the fear of judgment, and freedom to walk fully in your divine purpose. The journey ahead may not always be easy, but it is one of profound transformation. As you continue to walk in faith, remember that every challenge you face is shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for greater things. Keep trusting, keep growing, and keep walking boldly in your purpose. The resistance you face is a sign that you are doing the work that God has called you to do. Stay faithful to the calling and trust that the breakthroughs you are waiting for are already unfolding, one step at a time. Keep moving forward, knowing that the light you carry is greater than any darkness that comes against you. God is with you every step, using you to bring healing, transformation, and awakening to the world. Stay open-hearted, strong in spirit, and unwavering in faith. The path ahead is one of divine purpose, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. This journey is sacred, and with God's guidance, your heart will expand, and your life will reflect His truth in all you do. The road ahead is challenging, but you, chosen one, are built for this. Your purpose is eternal, and your impact immeasurable. Keep moving forward in faith, trusting that God has already gone before you, and you are right where you need to be. Heavenly Father, we come before you with hearts full of gratitude for the divine calling you have placed on each and every one of us. We thank you for the strength, courage, and wisdom you've bestowed upon us, empowering us to stand firm in our truth and be bold in our journey as your chosen ones. Lord, you know the challenges we face, the resistance, the judgment, and the fear of others. But you also know the light you've placed within us, a light that cannot be dimmed, no matter how much the world tries to push against it. God, we ask that you continue to bless us with clarity as we walk this path, trusting that you are with us every step of the way. Help us to remain rooted in your purpose, to destroy the egos that seek to divide us, and to shine your light in a world that desperately needs it. Grant us the wisdom to know when to stand firm and when to walk in love. Help us understand that the fear and resistance we face are not signs of our failure, but proof that we are walking in the right direction, challenging the ego-based systems that so often keep us bound. We ask for your strength to rise above the challenges, to trust in your timing, and to continue moving forward with faith, even when the road gets tough. Surround us with your peace and help us to remember that no matter how much others may fear our power, you are the source of that power. Remind us, Lord, that we are not alone. You are always with us, guiding us, strengthening us, and using us for your divine purpose. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. Chosen one, as you continue on this journey, remember that you are not walking this path alone. There is a family of chosen ones, just like you, who are committed to growing, learning, and walking in God's purpose. And if you are resonating with this message, I invite you to become a part of this community. By subscribing to this channel, you not only join a growing family of like-minded individuals, but you also commit to being a part of something much greater than yourself. Here, we share wisdom, inspiration, and encouragement that can help guide you along your divine path. Together, we can support one another in our unique journeys as chosen ones, knowing that we are here to uplift each other. If this message spoke to you, I encourage you to share it with others who may benefit from it. There are people around you, family, friends, colleagues, who need to hear this truth, who are longing for the strength to face their own challenges. By sharing this video, you are helping to spread God's light and encouraging others to walk in alignment with His will. When you subscribe, comment, and engage with this channel, you are not only participating in the growth of this community, but you are also aligning yourself with the mission God has placed on your heart. We are here to support one another, to build each other up, and to walk boldly as chosen ones, knowing that together we can make an even greater impact in the world. Take a moment to subscribe, turn on your notifications, and comment, "I am ready," to declare your commitment to your divine purpose. I encourage you to share this video with anyone who may need this message today. You have a part to play in helping others see the light that is within them, just as you are learning to embrace your own. Remember, the journey may not always be easy, but it is always purposeful, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. Keep walking boldly, keep shining brightly, and keep trusting in God's plan for your life. You are here for such a time as this. May God bless you abundantly as you continue to walk in His light. If this message touched your heart and you'd like to support the Chosen Ones community, consider donating to our Ko-fi. Your contribution helps us continue to create spiritually enriching content for you and others on the sacred path. By supporting us, you're helping to spread God's light and provide a space for those on their divine journey. Every donation, no matter the size, is deeply appreciated and enables us to keep growing this community and sharing the wisdom we've been called to offer. Thank you for being a part of this sacred mission. Together, we can impact lives.